Hey, thanks for joining me again here at Flying S Models. Have you ever picked up what you thought was going to be a great aircraft kit, only to open it up and find that the cockpit details were lacking, especially the cockpit seat? That recently happened to me. I picked up what I thought was going to be a great kit, except when I opened it up, the seat in it was pitiful. The kit itself was super nice. Everything about it was great. Outline, shape, surface detail, even the cockpit detail was decent except for the seat. It just wasn't going to cut it if I wanted this to be a realistic build. So I looked online for a resin aftermarket seat, but about all I could find was a photo etch interior set for this particular model. So I didn't want to spend $20 to $30 on an aftermarket etch set for the whole interior, only to use the cockpit seat. So I figured, why not try to make my own using sheet styrene? So I don't typically like photo etch sets. They're fine for small details, but for me, the parts are usually too fiddly. They're two-dimensional instead of three-dimensional, like I can get with most resin or plastic parts. So I'm going to show you how to make a new seat using sheet styrene, and we'll complement that with a previous video on scratch building your own seat belts. So let's go ahead and hit the bench and show you how to get it done. So needless to say, I was pretty disappointed when I got home and opened up the kit and found this junky looking seat. I'm not sure what it's actually supposed to represent, other than the fact that it looks like it's got a little bit of a cushion and a rounded seat back. In no way does it look like any seat that I've ever seen. So I'm going to show you with a few easy tricks how to turn this into something like this. Now here's all the tools you'll need. Some sheet styrene. I use evergreen sheet, in this case 0.015 inch, a pencil, tweezers, scissors, and glue. I like it to be extra thin. As described in one of my previous videos, for the seat belts you'll need pewter foil and silver solder. Let's get this thing rolling and show you just how easy it is. The first thing you'll need is to get a good reference picture of the seat you want to build. In this case, I'm going to build a pretty generic seat for a World War II fighter. Because of its simple structure, I've chosen for demonstration just to do something like a P-47 seat. You can see here the basic diagram of the components of that seat. You have what is a bottom, a back, and two sides. Now for the most part, everything's flat, including the sides and the back and the major portions of the bottom. But I've drawn a dashed line here to represent the area of the bottom seat that'll actually curve up to follow the contours of the side walls. You can find plenty of reference information online for just about any particular seat that you'd like to make. The first step is to cut out the shape and then trace it onto the styrene sheet. So I've used the scissors to cut out the seat shape, and now all I have to do is trace it onto the styrene sheet. You've got the basic seat shape. Now you need to add in the fold lines for the sides and the bottom. I'll do that just by drawing the line from the side all the way to the bottom, and on the other side, straight up. And then I'll come in and connect the bottom of the side walls like so. There you have it. You're ready to cut it out. Okay, with the seat cut out of styrene, now all I have to do is score the black lines. You don't want to cut all the way through when you score, so I just take the back of the razor blade and run it along the line, pressing just gently to score it ever so slightly. With the line scored, you can just bend it to shape. You can see there, it's already taken shape. Now to curve the section of the seat bottom that rides along the side of the seat, just take a round object, in this case I'll just use a paintbrush, and bend the front of the seat along the round object to get a slight curve to it, as you can see. You may have to keep working to get the front of the seat bottom to bend along the side of the seat. And when you have it where you want it, just take a little Tamiya thin cement and run it right along the edges to glue the bottom to the side, holding it in place until it dries. When it's dry, you can just take a sanding pad and clean up the edges. So in this case, I wanted to add a little extra dimension to the seat. So using another sheet of styrene, I cut a rectangular section, carved out 3 holes, and then angled it between the seat back and the seat bottom, gluing it in place. And I've already demonstrated on a previous video how to make these pewter foil seat belts that you can make and then install onto your scratch-built seat. Now check out the difference. Here was the original kit part. What a piece of junk. Here's the replacement part. In just a matter of a few minutes, you've got a great looking seat that'll add a ton of interest to your airplane cockpit. Although I made that scratch-built seat just a little big for demonstration purposes, you can see there's just no comparison between the kit part and the one that you're going to make from scratch. So a little tough to see the contrast here given the fact that the styrene is white, but let me smack it with a little primer and then we'll compare it again with the kit seat. So there you go. With a little primer, that new seat looks better than ever. Check out the difference between it and the kit seat. So it's that simple. In a matter of minutes, we have a new seat that's head and shoulders above what was offered in the kit. Now, if you enjoyed this video, do us both a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Also click on that notification bell. That way you'll know when new videos are posted so you can get up-to-date tips and techniques from Flying S Models. Thanks for joining.